Hello, and thanks for using TickBoom. This question 34 is the fourth of 5 questions that I've been working through, which came from the latest HSC Mathematics exam. This is one of those common questions that both the advanced and the standard students sat. This particular question is a financial mathematics question, which I was quite happy to see. I have a particular interest in financial literacy. I currently teach financial literacy with financial models program at Penrith High, and that's where I teach some of the skills that I use myself as a financial modeler, and use those skills to help teach the basic ideas of finance and financial literacy. So I'm very happy to see that a question on this topic turned up in the exam. I think it's an important area of knowledge that more and more people should have, so they can be confident when they have to deal with money, as we all do. The question here reads that Tina inherits $60,000 and invests it in an account earning interest at a rate of 0.5% per month. Each month, immediately after the interest has been paid, Tina withdraws $800. The amount in the account immediately after the nth withdrawal can be determined using the recurrence relation AN equals AN minus 1 times 1.005 minus 800, and n can be 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we're also told that the initial value A0 is $60,000. Now part A of the question says to use the recurrence relation to find the amount of money in the account immediately after the third withdrawal. And then over the page we have part B, which reads, calculate the amount of interest earned in the first 3 months. So for part A, we need to make use of this recurrence relation, which is that AN is equal to AN minus 1 times 1.005 minus 800. And we also know that the first A0 is equal to 60,000. So we want to get to A3, and we can do that just by working up from A1, because it's there's a recurring nature to this series. So we can first start by saying, what is A1? Well, that's going to be equal to A0, which is 60,000, times 1.005 minus 800, and we can just key that into the calculator. So we get 60,000 times 1.005 minus 800, and that's going to give us 59,500. Then we can get A2, which would be A1, our 59,500, times 1.005 minus 800, which would equal times 1.005 minus 800, and we'd get 58,997.5. And then finally we want A3, which is the 58,997.5 times 1.005 minus 800, which would equal 492.49. And that's really all there is to part A. It's simply plugging in the numbers in the sequence and just recurring through it to ultimately get to A3. Now part B of the question was interested in the amount of interest earned. So basically, if we first think about this in a simplistic sense where we don't withdraw money, so all we do is we take $60,000 and leave it in this investment account or savings account and let the interest pile up, then whatever the balance is at time 3 minus what we initially put in, that must be what we've earned as interest. Now we do have this little complicating factor because we're taking out $800 each time, but we can adjust for that because what we can say is that the interest that we've earned would be equal to our kind of A3 balance minus our opening balance. That's kind of what it is simplistically. But then we can add back the withdrawals that we made. And then that would kind of tell us in total, in effect, what is the interest that we've ultimately earned over this period, because it's the balance plus, what we took out. So in this case, we can now just plug in these numbers because we know what they are. We'll get our balance of 58,492.49 minus the 60,000 plus we made 3 withdrawals of 800. So now we can just enter that. So we've got our 58 already, so minus 60 plus 3 times 800, and we get $892.49. And that's all there is to that question. So in the end, not particularly complicated. Hopefully that's a question that most, if not all, of the standard students would have been able to work their way through. I think potentially it could be off-putting at first when you first read through it because of this whole recurring relationship and dealing with interest and withdrawals and all that kind of thing. But as with most questions, if you kind of just step back and work through it methodically, you can usually find a way through without too much trouble. So hopefully that all made sense, and tick boom.